Hello, and welcome. Sorry about that. Getting a little late start here. Sorry about that. I was making some adjustments and I lost completely track of the time. So I apologize for that, getting a little bit of a late start, but at least we're on the air. Hey, if you're watching, sign in and say hi so I know you're there, and feel free to ask questions as we go along. Tonight's going to be kind of a free-form show because I honestly don't have anything that I'm going to be drawing, so I'm going to basically kind of depend on you folks. Take requests and ask what you'd like to see me draw. So we're going to kind of experiment with that. How you doing? It is the 21st. Is it the 21st or the 20th? I'm losing track of time here. The 20th of June. And this is the Nightly Draw Live, coming to you live and direct from stately Lotshaw Manor in beautiful Beaufort, Georgia. My name is John Lotshaw, and I am the crackpot cartoonist, as you can see there. And like I said, I'll tell that story one of these days, where that came from. I see James Rouse there. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Be checking your email a little later. I've got some email. I got a question for you, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, feel free to jump in on the live chat because I basically need to get questions from you. And oh dear, YouTube is complaining. That's not good. I don't like it when YouTube complains. What are they complaining about? Good grief. Every time I turn around, they're always asking for more data. It's kind of this is like going to the doctor's office. Every time I turn around, more data. They want a higher bitstream rate. Oh, brother. Well, you're just going to have to deal with it for tonight. Good grief. But we're going to, it's just the teething pains here. We're going to get this dialed in and figured out what's going on. I see, Bruce Higdon. Hello. Greetings, fearless leader. Thank you for joining us again. And we are live this time, obviously, as we can see. Okay. Let me get some of the preliminary stuff out of the way. One thing that I have to announce that I don't have a graphic ready for it. I will for the next time. I am going to be I'm kind of disappearing into the background here, aren't I? That's what I get for wearing a black shirt at night, right? Floating head. I will be teaching two classes on cartooning, one for younger kids, one for older kids, at the Catoosa County Library, which is in Ringgold, Georgia. And that will be next Wednesday. So next Wednesday there won't be a live show, but I'm going over to Ringgold. Ringgold is the next town over from where I grew up, so I'm very familiar with that area. Catoosa County, spent almost as much, well, not almost as much time as I did in my home county, Whitfield County, but spent a lot of time in Catoosa County growing up. So that is going to be all day next week, next Wednesday. And as I said, there'll be one class for younger kids. That'll be at 11, and then the older kids will be at 3. And I'm really excited about it. This is the first time I've done a class in a long, long time, so I'm getting together stuff for them, and that's going to be interesting. So, we'll do a report on that when that comes up. Speaking of appearances, we have... I'm going to click on the right app here. There we go. Atlanta Comic Con. That is Sunday, July the 2nd, which is the next Sunday after next. It's a one-day con at the Marriott Century Center in Atlanta. As you can see right there, Marriott Hotel Century Center, which is on I-85 at Claremont Road. It's a one-day con. I've been to it quite a few times. Usually on Super Bowl Sunday. It's kind of become my Super Bowl Sunday tradition. So that's going to be there. So I'll be there. I'll have stuff. I'll have books to sell. I'll be doing drawings. So if you are in the Atlanta area, please come on by. There's more than just me. There's also all kinds of comic book dealers so you can, complete your collection, as it were, there. And as I said, that's July 2nd at the Marriott. And then there's also Dragon Con, of course, Dragon Con, September 1st through 4th. And that will be, of course, in Atlanta, which is, where Dragon Con usually is. We'll be in the Artist Alley. I'll be there with Bill Holbrook and Tom Heinches of Hogan's Alley. And always looking forward to hanging out with those guys because they're just great guys to hang out with. And Tom just came back from Heroes Con, and hopefully I hope to do Heroes Con next year. But speaking of Tom. Tom is the editor of Hogan's Alley, and this is I've been saying I was going to talk about this. This is a great magazine. If you're not familiar with this, you go and this is not a paid advertising. So this is just because I love this magazine, and Tom's a great guy and very knowledgeable, and I help him out with doing web stuff, and in return, look at that. Check that out. That's right. It's an ad for Accidental Centaurs. Yay. Hooray for me. But here's the really cool part is right here. Yes. Hogan's Alley won the Eisner last year. So it's the Eisner winning Hogan's Alley. You can't get any better than that. This magazine is fantastic. There's all kinds of great stuff. You will learn something. You will always learn something in here. This issue has got some great stuff. There's a great article about Peanuts and Shakespeare. Jack Davis, the wonderful Jack Davis. I really miss him. He was a great guy. One of the great things in my life I got to do was actually get to meet and work and actually art direct Jack Davis. So. And then this article here about George Harriman, creator of Crazy Cats, that's a really good article, and that's just scratching the surface. This thing is just fantastic. I can't say enough nice things about it. I would just be rambling all night long. So I have other things to ramble about as well. So I got to work those in too. But I did want to, because I keep mentioning it, because I'm going to be next to him over at Dragon Con. And I keep saying I'm gonna need to talk some more about Hogan's Alley, but here it is. Go to hoganmag.com if you're interested. Now that all the subscribers have their issues, he's selling these. I forgot how much he's selling them for, but he does have these available for sale. This is a great issue, as always. Go and check that out. So cut that out of the way. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yes, of course, I got to mention the Patreon. Patreon is I need to change that graphic out because they just changed their branding and their logo and everything. And hey Dave, good to see you. Glad you could make it. We now have 5 viewers. That's our highest level of viewership ever. According to YouTube. So that's amazing. So this is a historic moment. But anyway, Patreon. Yes, Patreon. Patreon helps support Accidental Centaurs, helps keep us on the air. It keeps the strip going. There are multiple levels of membership. I just added one that basically brings back the old Not Safe for Work Friday. So if that's something that you like, go check that out. There are levels that start at $5 a month. And $5, well, actually start at $1 a month, but $5 a month and up gets you new pages for Accidental Centaurs when they're complete, and I push them out. That includes all kinds of other, not just the current story, but also stuff that I'm going back and redoing. Things like the color versions of A Lair of the Insectars. And there's going to be some changes that are going to be coming up. I haven't made up my mind yet 100% yet, but I'm kind of leaning in this direction. So I'll make some announcements a little later on, but they are going to affect Patreon and make it even more important if you're a fan of Accidental Centaurs. So, but please consider becoming a patron. Even $5 a month helps, and I appreciate the support. Another way that you can keep up with what's going on is through Facebook. The Facebook page is www.facebook.com/Accidental Centaurs. Announcements about what's happening with the strip, what's happening with the live broadcasts, all of that is happening. That happens there on Facebook. And, of course, it also goes out to Twitter, but I'd write them on Facebook, and it just gets mirrored out to Twitter because I really don't do Twitter. But I know there are folks who do. And I need to add the Twitter handle in here, but I'll get that for the next time around. But anyway, another major way that I support things is through the sale of books. And we have the Year One, which has the first 3 comics. It's a beautiful, full-color book from Lulu. There's also the Volume 2, which is right here. There we go. Live TV. I love live TV. Especially when I screw up. But Volume 2 is the full graphic novel for dictating the course. Eventually, that will be joined by my Lair of the Insectars, but that's going to be a long ways off, I'm afraid, because it's just that's a lot of stuff to go back and recolor. But those are available on Lulu, and then of course there are also the Naughty Bits books, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and those are adult only, but those also are available, full color books. There's also digital download versions available on Lulu of all of those books that are cheaper because we're not having to ship dead trees. So do go and please help support the strip and buy some books because again, that's how I'm making my money, and that's how keeps this thing going, and so we can have little fun times like this together. It's what makes it all happen. And that's Dragon Con, of course. That's the same slide. So anyway, so here we are. All right. So now I got to draw something, right? Yeah, I got to draw something. So let me get some drawing paper down. Hold on, just 1 second here. All the paper is stored up way up here, and you can tell I'm really prepared. Oh, crap. Frack. Almost had a big disaster. Actually, I had a small disaster, really, honestly. Let's see. Is this the one I'm looking for? These are not the pads you're looking for. Old Jedi mind tricks, right? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm looking for. Boy, preparation, it will save you in the end, won't it? If you're not... All right, if you're not preparing to succeed, you're preparing to fail. So what did we learn today, kids? Show prep. Very important. All right, so let me make sure that I don't have anything that I don't want to show up here. As I try to find a blank page. Let's see. All right. So, when I draw you a beer. All right. How's that, Dave? There, I drew you a beer. Don't give me openings like that, buddy. You should know. You should know better by now. Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to try and do is, without any suggestions coming across, I have got a going to be doing something with Accidental Centaurs. I'm going to do a little pamphlet. Well, okay, if you're going to pay me 5 cents, let me show you where to send that to. Because I do have a tip jar set up. Just send that to paypal@studiotachyon.com. Actually, I do have a pay. That is my PayPal account, and I will take tips. Hey, if you want to tip the artist, I'm out here basically busking. So. I gotta put the spiel in, and the spiel is there's the tip jar right there. Just send it there and fire and forget. And anyway, what was I saying before I went off on this tangent? Oh yes, the pamphlet. I'm going to do an introductory pamphlet. That is yikes! That was kind of harsh, wasn't it? It should be a dissolve. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what happened. I'm going to do a little pamphlet that I will. I'm not going to give it away at a show or a convention, but it'll be an introduction to Accidental Centaurs, to the characters, things like that. So people who come by at a con can see this and say, "Oh, what is this all about?" So, well, here's this little pamphlet. It's $1. If you come back by the end, if you take it, read it, check it out, if you like what you see and you want to get a book, come back before the end of the con and with the pamphlet, and I'll give you $1 off on whatever you buy. So you get it for free, if you like it. So and we did this with Kevin and Kel when I was working with Bill Holbrook, and that was very successful. That worked very well. So. It was suggested by Tom Heinches, who Mr. Eisner winning Tom Heinches, to do a little introduction to Accidental Centaurs. So what I'm going to do is I guess I'm going to start doodling out and start working out some ideas for the cover. I think I'm just going to call it FAQ, which is a frequently asked questions. And that'll be the format of it. So it would be something like let me draw it down here where the blowout isn't so bad. Actually, instead of doing it in the blue, I'm going to do it in regular pencil. Now, if you want to see me draw anything else, jump right in, please, because I will happily. Take requests. It's like being a disc jockey back in the old days of WTTI. Warm 1530 WTTI. AM 1530 Dalton. Oh boy. Yeah, warm 1530. Yes. All the beautiful music that you can hear on the AM dial. But it was fun. I'm not complaining. I loved radio. Radio was a lot of fun. But actually, it should be Pop's Chocolate Shop, which was Archie. It was Pop's Chocolate Shop. The Chocolate Shop, yeah. So basically, this would be the layout of the cover, and I'm thinking that we'll do the. Boy, that really looks like my logo, doesn't it? That sure looks like it, doesn't it? I was thinking about doing kind of a Terry Gilliam-esque giant Maybe kind of stack the letters here. About to sneeze. Hold on. Oh, I hate it when that happens. You got all that build up, and then nothing. I hate it when that happens. I really, really detest that. And then maybe have yeah, I found yes. All radio stations have a cough switch. I have a cough switch now. All I have to do is hit the slash, and as soon as I hit the, I get muted. So all I have to do is just press the, and I get like that. So yeah, as you know, part of the teething pains as I'm getting set up, I realize I need a cough switch because. Boy, if you watch some of those first ones, I was coughing my head off. So, and I keep forgetting that I have. No, that's me. Let's see. It's this key. There we go. Little music in the background there. Oh, it's not supposed to play that one. Oh, criminy. Yeah, the last time I got a copyright, I think it was on this one. Well, anyway, I think it's this one. I'm gonna just kill it anyway. Kill that one anyway. There we go. Because I got a copyright strike. Well, not a strike, but a copyright claim, and I don't like that. So especially since that music was supposed to have been free and clear. So anyway, the idea would be to have the characters standing around these kind of monoliths. Kind of like that. We'll put Sam over here. And then, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Actually, kind of maybe take the A. I'll need to rework that. I'll need to rework it in order. Shaw had a great idea about having Lenny do the heavy lifting. Yeah, but when he's the only one around who can do it, he gets drafted. So let's rethink that. I have the A kind of falling. Something like that, yeah. So Lenny's kind of Maybe have Sam peeking out from over here. And an Alex in here somehow. Yeah, of course Lenny's going to get upset about being stuck with it. Lenny's going to be upset about getting stuck with it, of course. He's got to have something to complain about. Actually, maybe if I made him smaller, and then basically erase this here. That doesn't happen. Oh man, that's why you don't use those erasers, kids. Use these. There. Well, that's an eraser. Of course, Sam, being the woman, she's just giving directions. No, a little more to the right, a little more to the right. No, to the left. To the left. That's not right. Put it to the right. To the left. But why didn't you say the left in the first place? Actually, I think Alex is he'll be lifting one of the periods and carrying one of the periods into place. Yeah, so Lenny will actually be about this big here. And then I'll do kind of like a rock texture on all of these. So I'll make a note here of a little subtitle. Everything you ever everything you ever wanted to know about Accidental Centaurs, but didn't know you needed to ask. So, yeah, I kind of like that idea there. The kind of the composition. I don't know if you can really see it that well, because it is kind of blown out. Let me see if I can do something about that. Hold on just a second here. Not without blowing it out completely. Okay, I can't tell if that's any better or not, because I can't really focus on the screen, and I really can't see it that well at this point. But basically, we've got these big rock monolith kind of letters, FAQ, frequently asked questions. Sam's down here directing, telling everybody what to do, as usual. Alex is hauling one of the periods in place, and Lenny is trying to keep. I may even make the A little bit more precariously balanced. And then up here, I'll put the logo. This little booklet will be it'll be 8.5 by 5.5, so it's going to be obviously much smaller than this, so that I can basically do it on a single sheet of letter paper and fold it over. I'm going to print these here on my big laser printer and staple them. I actually have one of those long reach staplers, so I can actually staple them myself. I don't know why that wasn't working. Oh, I know why, because it probably wasn't clicked on the window. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking for this. I like that idea, because I was thinking of calling it. I had been thinking to call it FAQ. Unless I can come up with a funnier variation on FAQ. Like infrequently asked questions, IAQ. That just doesn't work. But come up with something like that. What I need is a master punster. Who do I know that is a master of puns? Now, I'll think of somebody. We may be seeing the first Jin with a fist bump. Well, Accidental Centaurs did have the very first ever in comics fist bump between a Jin and a Centaur. So I'm very proud of that. That is my legacy to comics. Anyway, yeah, it's still complaining. I hope you're seeing this okay. Are you? Let me ask you. YouTube right now. This is a technical question, but I'm trying to get this dialed in. YouTube is complaining right now about the stream, the video stream, the bit rate. How does it look to you guys? Is it smooth? Is it breaking up? Are you having to buffer? I need to get some reports back from you guys as you're watching these live to let me know how it's going, because then I can adjust what I do and hopefully make YouTube happy. Okay, good. And you are seeing it in full 1080p. I hope you are getting a 1080 stream, because you should be getting a 1020 or a 1080 progressive 24 frame per second stream. So okay, a slight hiccup or two. Okay, all right. Okay, well, good. That's good to know. So basically, YouTube is complaining because it can, like some of my characters do. As far as you are, if you go over, Dave, if you look at the image, and you there's a little button when you put your mouse cursor over the live image, there's a little gear, and it will say quality. Right now, I'm getting. Oh, I see the 1080. I'm getting a 360 because I don't need to see a 1080. But when I just set it up for 1080, so I am getting 1080 now from YouTube. But check that and see. Please check that and see if you're getting, and let me know how how it looks, because I'm being an old TV guy. I really want this to look the best that it can, which means 1080, 1080, 24p. Okay, yeah. And that you can take this full screen, although if you put me full screen, you run the risk of destroying your monitor. But this can go full screen, so you can see the drawing detail a little bit better. Speaking of which, I'm going to actually go back to that. All right. Okay. So yeah. So it's coming. Let's see what. Let's see how. Okay. So now you should be looking at the drawing, and those of you who have switched over to 1080p, how's it looking? I hope it looks good. Yeah, stick that pencil right in the camera lens. So let's see, FAQ cover. I'm labeling this so that I don't forget what this is, because I will. I will forget. Okay, well, we've been doing this, going in for about an hour, and so we are right at about 20 minutes of. Oh, now the stream health is back up to healthy. Good. Make up your. Now it went back to. Make up your mind, YouTube. Make up your mind. Okay. Well, since we are here, got about 20 minutes usually. About. Take requests. What would you like? What do you? Give me a request, please. And so I'm waiting on the latency to catch up. What the heck is this music? This sounds like. It sounds like Tom and Jerry fell on a synthesizer. All right, I got to find some better background music. I really do. That is just horrible. Oh man, that was horrible. Yikes. Okay, so Lenny and Max. Maybe not for the public. We'll talk about that later. Mad Scientist Lab. Okay, Mad Scientist Lab. Frankenstein, right? Mad Scientist Lab. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just I'll just draw you a picture of Max. Max is a character that Dave Wilson T'Chall created, and I have done quite a few commissions of. So I'm just gonna do him. He's a relative of Lenny's. He doesn't have the pointy head, but that's always because he's got a beret on. And it's been a long time since I've drawn Max. And he has the Ray-Ban Aviator sunglasses, which wasn't in the original design specifications, but I added because I always think of because Dave is a big jazz fan, and I was just thinking of the Blues Brothers. He's a beatnik, right? And I was thinking of the Blues Brothers, and so I added. So I put those on there, and the Jin are have got in as I do them on in Accidental Centaurs, Lenny and his ilk. They're amorphous, so they can shape themselves whatever they like. Lenny tends to be likes to go a little wimpy unless he's really angry, and then you see him in his real real shape. And having now, I wish I could remember all the holes on a saxophone. Jeez, it's been so long. Gin and tonic. I'm not even going there. No, I'm not going there. All right. Okay, good. And what made me think of, I'm not drawing 23 keys because I don't remember them all. I used to, long ago. But anyway, what made me think of the Blues Brothers when I was doing this design was the soul patch, which of course any good beatnik is going to have, or any bad shaver, anybody who's bad at shaving, like me. And of course, any good beatnik is going to have a beret. Actually, the only thing I really know about beatniks, honestly, is from when I was a kid watching old reruns of Dobie Gillis and Bob Denver as Maynard G. Krebs. Now, I've got him holding a tenor saxophone, a B-flat tenor saxophone, because that was my instrument. So that was the one that I was most familiar with. Actually, I do still have an alto here, an alto saxophone from when I was in high school. and I'd have to go upstairs and pull it out for reference. I wasn't expecting to be drawing a saxophone tonight, but that's the fun part of a live draw, is not knowing what the heck I'm going to be doing, and then just having to go with it. I've always said I love live television. I love the unpredictability of it, and this is. So yeah, I know there's all kinds of keys and levers and other mechanisms. But well, the only reason I know who Maynard G. Krebs was is because it was like, oh, that's Gilligan. Now, this is probably the world's most inaccurate saxophone, but it doesn't matter because he's a djinn. He can make it work. So. Yeah, I just always, Maynard G. Krebs had the catchphrase that whenever anybody would say the word work, it would be, yeah, work. I remember there was a key down here. There was a split key here, and there was a split key right here. Geez, I don't remember all of them. I think there were three on a saxophone. You know what? I need to. This is bugging me because I should know. Well, I did know 35 years ago. What how many saxophone and images. Oh, that doesn't help. Well, you know what? It's going to be a magic saxophone. It's not going to have as many complex things, but it works from Genie Magic. So there. So there we go. I'm curious, Dave. Did you ever have? Did you ever have any other artists do Max? I'm just curious. All right, I was just curious. Um, all right, so there is Max. Um, 5, 16, 20. 6, I need to learn how to spell. Jeez. Ta-da! There we go. There's Max. I would like to redo it with and have a more accurate saxophone, because actually what I would like to do is use and I may just go ahead and do it, is to experiment with the Copics and some of the blending techniques that I've been learning about, that would go very nicely on the metal surface on the saxophone. But anyway, there's Max. So, all right. You know what? We got time for one more quickie. One more quick one. While I get another pencil. So, any suggestions? Any suggestions from the Peanut Gallery? All 5 of you. Wow, we've kept the 5. Okay, I know who 3 of them are, and I think I know who the 4th is. I think they're counting me as the 4th one. So viewer number 5, please say hi. The interactive part of it, that's what I love about this, about doing these, is the interactivity. And taking requests for anything, please. Let's do one more quick one. Waiting for a response. Mike Kazala. I'd love to see Kazala draw Max, and John Nunemacher too. Cooner, both fantastic artists, whom I've had the pleasure of meeting, both of them. Actually got to have dinner with Mike Kazala that one time at the Kevin and Kell patron dinner at Anthrocon. Speaking of which, Dave, are you going to Anthrocon? Because that's like next week, isn't it? I think it's next week, because I know Bill's getting ready for it. But anyway, so just waiting for a suggestion. Yes, they are. They're all good guys. I haven't talked to either one of them in a long, long time. One of Sam. Okay, Sam. Let's see. What can we have Sam doing? Yes, G-rated, of course. What can we have Sam doing? Let's see. I'm just going to start doodling in Sam, and then we'll figure out something for her to be doing in this picture. Start getting the basic form in here. So any suggestions for what Sam is doing in this picture? Any suggestions at all? We'll just keep... Oh, okay. You're not going to Anthrocon, Dave. Well, I hope maybe one of these days you can make it back down here for Dragon Con. I know you used to enjoy seeing you at Dragon Con. Sam looking cute. Okay. All right. All right. I should stretch that leg out a little bit more. Been trying to elongate the legs, and then when I do the foot, the hoof, try to make it look like there's more weight on them. Yeah, Dragon Con is pretty much Nerdvana. I was looking at something the other day, or this morning. I forgot what I was. I don't even forgot what it was I was looking at. But it has been 4 years since we lost Carrie. I can't believe it has been that long. That just kind of blows my mind. That it has been 4 years. One of these days I'm going to learn how to do this kind of elbow up sort of thing, right? It just, for me, it just, I try to get it right, and it just always looks a little off to me. So, and actually I'm going to bring her hand down a little bit more. Yes, she was. And I do miss her terribly. The thing that I really am trying to make a concerted effort to do is, as I'm Alex and Sam, is to make it look like there's more weight on them as I draw them, because in the past it doesn't. I really haven't been satisfied with the appearance of them. Of their legs and how much weight they're carrying. Because I guesstimate that given the size, because their equine halves are not the full size of a horse, because this is basically human sized, and then the equine portion is sized proportionately. So you're not going to get the full weight of a horse here. It is going to be more than a standard human being, but it's not going to be like a horse, which would be, a horse's weigh. How much does a horse weigh? Probably, I'd say probably in the 1,500 to 2,000 pound range for a horse, for an average size horse. So you figure that Alex would be about, for someone of his size, and build, he would be about 250, I'm guessing. So from that, I would extrapolate that Alex would weigh somewhere around 700 to 800 pounds, and then Sam would be somewhere around 650 to 750. Maybe closer to the 650 than the 750. Which of course is a significant weight, as you know, as I well know, which is, you know, something that I got to work on. That's a whole other blog. But the way that I had drawn them in the past. Okay. All right. So then, all right. Well, then I was way off on my estimates of how much a horse weighs, and I, not looking at the heavier breeds of horse. I mean, more like like an Arabian horse or something like that. Just, you know, your average run of the mill horse. So then maybe Alex would be closer to 600 pounds, and is it gonna? Oh crap! Criminy! Hold on a second. Thank you for alerting me to the focus. Focus. Don't auto. What are you doing way over there? Should be way over here. There. That's better. Sorry about that. Yeah, well, I go out of focus all the time, but when the camera goes out of focus, then we've got a real problem. What was I going to? What was I saying before the camera? Before the the weight. So maybe Alex would be more closer to 650 then, and then Sam would be more like 500. Just never ask a female how much she weighs. Period. Doesn't matter her species. You're asking for a lot of trouble. Again, regardless of the species. All right, pull another pencil down here. Yeah, the camera went out of focus because focus is software controlled on the cameras that I'm using, so it's not like I have a manual focus ring like a real camera. But then again, that's the old broadcast fogey in me. Yeah, you kids these days with your web cameras. In my day, we had carrier cameras separate from the recorders, and we liked it that way. Man, I still remember the very first broadcast camera I ever used was called a JVC KY 2000, and let me tell you, KY was appropriate for the designation of this thing. Oh man, what a piece of what happened was JVC, which is not known for its quality cameras. Although I gotta say, the 950 when we had those at the Georgia Center, those were actually pretty nice. But JVC is generally not known for its broadcast gear. But the KY2000 was just this super duper cheap camera that was made for electronic news gathering. And in fact, these cameras during the first Gulf War, all the networks used them so that because they were disposable, and if something happened, all of the crews were instructed, take the tubes out of the camera and ditch the cameras. The tubes in them, and because these still had tubes in them, the tubes were worth more than the cameras themselves. And oh man, these things had horrible comet trailing, which is when you point a tube camera at a point light source, it leaves this kind of trail behind it, and that's called comet trailing. And these cameras were beyond bad about comet trailing. Okay. All right, there we go. By request, Sam looking cute. All right, there we go. Ta-da! Sam looking cute. Yeah, it's nice to being back to drawing Sam again and drawing Alex again. After so long not drawing them for negative spaces, and doing Negasam. I was a little out of practice actually. And so it's taken me a while to get back into shape. Yeah, we have something. Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, you know what? That's been the longest show that we've done so far. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for sticking around, all of you. Good night, Bruce. thanks for coming. Bruce Higdon, ladies and gentlemen, is leaving the building. Bruce is a great gag cartoonist and just a great human being. He sponsored me into the NCS, welcomed me into the Southeast chapter with open arms, and so I'm always grateful and always happy to see him. Just one of my favorite people. He and his wife Young and his son BJ I really enjoy getting to see them and spending time with them. They're great folks, and thanks for tuning in. And thanks to everybody else tuning in, whether you're watching live or you're watching this on the archive on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I haven't done a spiel on it in the last couple of days, but I do need to do so. I'm going to put my glasses back on and readjust that, and then come back over here like this. So anyway, thanks again. I appreciate it. If you, like I was saying before, I distracted myself. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe so that you know when there's other stuff going up. There's going to be some more stuff going up soon. I'm going to start shooting some Full Tilt Nerdity. I'm actually going to talk about DuckTales, among other things. DuckTales and big numbers. Not in the same show, but we're gonna show about the new open for DuckTales that has just been dropped by Disney, and talk about that, and talk about how numbers can get very big very quickly in various series, and how you can demonstrate this with a deck of cards. Yeah. So, again, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Subscribing helps me because we're over halfway to right now. We're over halfway to the 100 subscribers I need to get the non random keyboard pounding URL for the channel. So I really do appreciate that. I also please consider books, Patreon, all of that stuff that we went over earlier. It helps me keep this thing going, and I do want to keep this thing going because I enjoy doing this. This was a lot of fun. This was the best show that we've done, I think. Definitely have gone the as far. I need to get Scrooge McDuck as one of my patrons because he can afford it. No, he wouldn't cash out anyway. Anyway, so that's that, and thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Had a lot of fun, and maybe a little later I'll actually draw up, and we'll actually do the FAQ title as an actual nightly draw. But thanks for helping me work out some of the ideas on that. I do appreciate that. So until tomorrow night, and it will be tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Pacific, and 2 a.m. UTC. For those of you who are elsewhere in the world, you can calculate your time from that. So until then, thanks a lot, and I will see you tomorrow. Keep drawing.